back. I think it's been like almost a month I haven't done any video. I got really busy in the work, and also I went for a vacation, went to Vietnam. I went to Halong Bay and basically got hospitalized there, so it was quite an amazing experience for me, both good and bad experience. So now I received last week the Deadpool. I also got another piece that arrived as well. So this time this would be a review for the Sideshow Premium format Deadpool Heat Seeker exclusive. So this is the Deadpool. I place it with the regular switch out, which is the rifle firing. And basically, the pose itself is very amazing, very dynamic. The only disadvantage for this dynamic pose is that you would have a hard time, really, I would say, placing it in the cabinet. Especially for me, where I'm placing it in a Besta, it's a bit difficult to how would say display him or put him in the inside the shelves, but I was able to place him inside. I think you might need around more than 24 inches height, and of course the his sword will be sticking out from the cabinet or from the shelf as well. So here are some, let's say, some close-ups for the rifle. I do like how the firing effect looks like. It's really nice. It actually looks good. The bullet also actually looks good, and then the trail as well. It has a very good detail, but this is made of plastic. So this part is the plastic part of this Deadpool piece. So this is the exclusive switch out, which is the selfie stick and the kissing gesture behind the mask. It looks really amazing. I do wish that the selfie stick has actual mirrors or some material that is reflective and really, let's say, mirrors his his face. I would That would have been a really nice touch for this piece as well. So, in terms of pose, I really like this dynamic pose that they've given to this Deadpool. It makes this Deadpool really feel and look Deadpool as what we know from the comics. He's more funny and everything. I also like the balance of this the statue itself. So as you can see, there's this. I would say the explosion is here, and Deadpool is leaning in the forward. So there's actually a good balance in terms of weight in this in the and also in stabilization for this statue. And I also like that they have covered the entire let's say space, let's say the cylindrical space for this statue, wherein the Deadpool is also slashing forward, and he's also having something at his back, which makes or covers the very good space in terms of display. So it's actually really good and really well balanced. This is actually very nice design from Sideshow. I would really do like it. So the paint job of this piece is really impressive as well. As you can see, look at the boots. It has some pigmentation in it, some weathering, some let's say discoloration. Really nice. A lot of, let's say, different kinds of blend of colors. Even though it's just black or and red, you can see actually some discoloration, some, let's say, different tones in his suit. Really nice. And also, for example, this explosion, it actually looks really good. A bit cartoony, but actually looks good, especially with the nice lighting. I also like those pouches. Look at those pouches. The paint job is really good. The only problem is maybe for some they might not like it, because some of these pouches are actually plastic, and also some of those straps. The stick itself is also plastic. Like I said, I do want to have the let's say a reflective material in it. On the base, you can actually see this plastic, transparent plastic, wherein you can see the explosion behind it or inside. Very nice touch, but when you touch this material, it feels like really, how I would say, a soft or, let's say, plasticky, maybe some toy like. But if you just are looking at it and don't touch it, then I think that would be okay. But yeah, I think it might not please some collectors out there. I do like the explosion in the base. It's really good, really nice, really well done. The sculpt itself is really good. The rubble, the ground itself, it looks really good. Looks realistic actually. Also the explosion, the color itself is really nice and really good. So the trail of the rocket is actually resin, and it's the one connected to the Deadpool, and it's very seamless as you can see here, very good, and it's also quite well done. I really like it. It has some weight. The only textured part of this piece is the armpit part. It's so far that's the only one I've noticed, but as you can see here also, the pouches and the straps have really nice detail. Some of them are actually plastic. I think the straps are somehow plastic if I'm correct, and also the pouches. The rocket itself is also plastic. I think some of the collectors might have some problem with it. Here also a lot of straps, but I think at this part these are all sculpted. Also the belt is really nice. The gun holster is very nice. The gun itself is also very nice. It has a very good how would say paint job. Here again, the straps, the paint job in this one is really superb. I do like the complex pigmentation and all that stuff, and all the weathering as you can see also in the boots. Really good. It has all the details. I do wish there's some texture in the weathering that would really good have a really good effect as well. And here is the where you connect the Deadpool. It has some gap, but I think it's all flush inside there. It doesn't wobble, to be honest. It has very good detail, especially on the boots. The boots has some plastic part as well. So, but even though it has that, it gives really nice detail. Look at those boots. Nice weathering and very nice paint job. So for the rating, I added one category, which is construction. So it would already be paint, sculpt, design, and construction. And each category already has subcategories where I place the rating, or have the rating in them. And then on overall, it would have a percentage for paint, sculpt, design, and construction as well. So I have this to have more clear and also precise way of, let's say, rating in my status, and for the review itself. And also it would also help me in terms of letting go. So who has the lowest rating for my point of view, would I let go this piece if there's a need to. So yeah. So for the paint job, first off is the quality. It's actually really nicely done. Clean paint job, really good. I do still see some imperfections in some of the lines and some like paint rubs, so I couldn't give this a perfect score. So it's 4 out of 5 for quality. For color scheme, really nice. It's a Deadpool color scheme. What I really like is the red tones and the black tones. They really done a really nice combination of that kind of tones for the Deadpool. Not too bright also, so that's why I really like it as well. So I'm giving it a 5 out of 5. And for the complexity and weathering, it has a really nice complex paint job in it. As you can see, there are some rusting in his straps, also some weathering in the pouches, and also I also like how they've done with the boots. It's really good. Some pigmentations, really nice, really well done. I really do like also the guns, how they're painted. I do wanted that the guns also have some scratches or something, but nonetheless it's really nicely done as well. And also for like example, you can see in his arms there's like other pigmentation as well in his gloves. So I'm giving the complexity and weathering is 5 out of 5 for both. So for sculpt, quality wise, it's actually really good. I think it's well done from Sideshow. I didn't see any QC problems, so I'm giving this 5 out of 5. For details, it actually has a very good details into this sculpt. I'm really impressed by the pouches. The straps are really good. The only problem with this is that they're made of plastic, but other than that, it's really well done. I think it has a very good details in it. The stitching, the rusting, the and all the details, the folds or the creases or everything is really well done in terms of detail, so it's 5 out of 5. For the texture, there's not much texture in this one. The base has texture, but the sculpt itself doesn't have, so I'm giving this only 3 out of 5 because it has only an armpit part and I think some parts of the gun and the base itself, so I'm giving this 3 out of 5. For the mass over space, this is actually what I learned in terms of sculptures. So there's like this your mass the mass of the statue over the space around it. So there's a cylindrical part, so it's basically checking the balance between those attributes or those let's say things that in for the sculpt. So for this piece there's something in the front and the back, and then in the side is really well balanced, but the problem is the top part only the I would say the sword is sticking out, so it's somehow that's why you have a problem in terms of displaying this piece. So I'm giving this 4 out of 5. For the design, I do like the concept. I really like the concept wherein it exploding, and then he's like the missile is trying to get him because he's heat-seeking missile is trying to get him because he's too hot, and that's kind of funny. And also in terms of the suit that they chose, it's actually the suit where I'm first saw Deadpool, which is really good. I really like that suit and not the movie version. So this is really nice. So basically, the concept of him with the dynamic pose and everything that's going on is really Deadpool. So I really like that. So I'm giving it 5 out of 5. For the edition size, though, I really didn't like the edition size because it reaches more than 1,000. I think 1,005 for the exclusive, so that's why I'm giving it two out of 5. For the switch outs, I do like the switch outs. To be honest, it's really good. The head and also the selfie stick for the exclusive parts. What I didn't like is that it's not because the selfie stick is plastic. Is that because they didn't really put the reflective material in the as a mirror, so that would have been very good touch. That's why I'm giving it only 4 out of 5 for the switch out. For in terms of displayability, it's a bit difficult to display this piece because it has a very dynamic pose and really like a lot of things going on, but that's the drawback with these dynamic poses. So yeah, it's a bit hard for me to display it in the Vesta, so I'm giving it a 3 out of 5. So for the new category, construction, so in terms of weight over size, so basing on the size of this piece, is not actually a big size, it's just that it's a very dynamic piece. But in any case, it has a very good weight on it. I didn't expect that the body itself has a solid weight, really solid I would say, so it's actually really good. So I'm giving it 4 out of 5. For the mixed media, I would say there's a lot of plastic in this one, especially in the small parts, the detailed parts, and also those like explosion effect or something. But it actually gives it a more, I would say, a depth on it, or let's say a more 3D approach. It's not something like it's part of the sculpt, like one sculpt. It gives you a feel where it's like really layered in terms of scope. So the bad thing is it's plastic, but it actually gives a really good detail. So I really do like the mixed media on this one, and the sword is also metal, so it actually is really good. So that's why I'm giving it 4 out of 5. Basing also in the post, it's actually quite most of the people are afraid it might lean, and then sometimes it's a bit difficult to assemble this piece. But I never had a problem. It doesn't also wobble. It's actually really good. You might see the gap in the feet, but I think that's normal. And then you won't have any problem moving it. I'm sometimes afraid, but it's actually very solid in terms of like let's say moving it, but it's really good. Really solid. So assembly wise, is 4 out of 5. And for the box is actually really good. The red is really nice, so I'm giving it also 4 out of 5 for the box. So that is Sideshow Deadpool Hitseeker Premium Format exclusive. I hope you enjoyed the review, learned something, and hopefully I've helped you decide to buy or cancel this piece. I hopefully it helped you on that one. Stay tuned for more reviews and click on the subscribe button down below for more videos from Ancient's Place.